over there? Oh, it's been a while. Let's go say hi. Hey, Navia! What you up to?
Shh! Get lost, Monica! I don't want to see you back here until you're ready to wake up and start doing things properly! Right now, you're... I'm sorry, did you hear me asking for excuses?
No, I'll do...
Why is she so aggressive? She won't even listen to what the poor girl has to...
Wait! Huh? Who do you think you are telling me... So, you're bringing backup now.
Savannah, is this how you always treat your staff?
My staff is right. I'm the one in charge here now. And last time I checked, the hotel...
Of course. How you run your kitchen is none of our business. But when a member of your staff is so overworked he becomes gravely ill...
Overworked? I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If Fermont can't handle the job, then...
But Fermont can do the job.
Monica, back inside!
But you...
Just do as you're told, and not another word out of you! Come on, we have work to do!
Wow! What a...
Sorry. Looks like I've dragged you into some drama again. Her name is Savannah. She's the new head chef at Hotel de Boer. Ever since she took the job, she's been enforcing a brutal work regime and putting a huge amount of pressure on her staff. One guy was so overworked, he collapsed from illness. He's been bedridden for days, and he can barely even talk properly.
I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I don't deserve to be a chef.
At his family's request, the Spina di Rosula is trying to mediate on his behalf. We're not exactly making a ton of Savannah is adamant that Vermont's exhaustion and illness have nothing to do with her or how she's been running her kitchen. She's refusing to have any kind of meaningful dialogue with us. Our next thought was to talk to the other chefs at the restaurant and get a better idea of their working conditions. But with Savannah watching them like a hawk, no one has been... And that's why I'm here, doing it the old-fashioned way. Camping out, watching...
Oh, shoot! It all makes sense now.
Oh, no, not at all, Paimon. Honestly, the way she was laying into Monica, someone had to step in. I'm sure I would have piped up if you hadn't. And besides, I don't really think I'm built for espionage. Yeah, meaning it's gonna be all the more difficult to get the inside scoop now. Oh.
Paimon will join you, 'cause this is kinda all
Oh, guys, it's fine. You don't need to worry about it. That said, if you were planning to visit the Fleuve Cendre anyway, a really famous chef just joined the Spina di Rosula's tavern.
Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to apologize for the scene you This is a small token from us. It's some candy from Monica. She asked me to...
Monica's the one apologizing? Huh. Clearly Savannah...
Our head chef has been a little highly strung lately. Sorry for everything.
All right. Since there's candy, Paimon will drop it. Not the candy.
Thank you for understanding. We'll make sure to pass your feedback on to Miss Savannah.
A little highly strung, huh?
Paimon doesn't get it. How did someone like her even become head chef?
Well, according to Fermont's family, she hasn't always been like this. But that's a story for another time. Let's try this.
Paimon totally gets it. Come on, dig in! Huh? Hold on, there's something written on the wrapper. Find Escoffier.
Escoffier? Could this mean...
Huh? You know
stick to the plan and go back to the Fleuve Cendre for now. That's where we'll find Escoffier anyway.
Yes!
Flavor and nutrition.
Fruit, sweeter than syrup.
So, who is this Escoffier, anyway?
Well, for starters, she used to be the head chef at the Hotel de Bourg. She recreated the legendary Gâteau de Bourg and restored the restaurant back to its former glory. Safe to say, she's the most renowned head chef in the Hotel de Bourg's history. After the...
Gâteau de Bourg? That's the super exclusive cake that they only sell a few slices a day, right? Wow.
Well, apparently, the Hotel de Bourg was reported for a safety incident. Someone claims that the kitchen was adding an illegal substance to their menu. But none of the chefs had any idea how it could have gotten into the food. In the end, Escoffier decided that as head chef, she should take responsibility. And she was sent to the fortress of Meripede.
The Fortress of Meripede?
Well, you're right. The quantity of the substance they found was fairly minimal. Even the guards believed the whole thing was probably just an accident. Escoffier didn't have to stay in the fortress for long, but still, by the time she returned, the role of head chef had already passed to Savannah.
So that's what happened.
Even though Escoffier is no longer head chef at the hotel, she's still well respected by the staff. So, I'm guessing what Monica wants is for us to convince Escoffier to try and negotiate with Savannah on the staff's behalf.
Oh, Paimon gets it! Monica wants Escoffier to come back and kick Savannah out. It's simple. If the new head chef is stressing everyone out, then the solution is just get the old one back.
Well...
You thought cream of mushroom soup was ready to serve after 3.5 minutes on the stove. You'd have had more sense serving hot water with ice cubes. At least then you wouldn't have wasted all this perfectly good cream and mushroom. What do you say, Hilaire?
I'm sorry, Cream. I'm sorry, Mushroom.
As you can see, Escoffier is that kind of chef as well.
You have to leave it on the heat for long enough to allow those flavors the chance to come out. Don't be fooled by the aroma when the water first starts to boil. Got it?
Yes, Chef.
Then go back and do it again. The customers are still waiting. Remember where you went wrong and don't repeat the same mistake twice.
Yes, Chef.
Waiting to be served? Sorry, we're pretty busy. I'm afraid you have to join the line.
Oh, no, we're not here to eat.
So you're not paying customers? Then I'm afraid the wait will be even longer.
It's hard to talk to Escoffier when she's in the zone. Let's take a seat. We can catch up while we wait.
Looks like the rush hour is finally over. Is it always this busy here?
These days, yes. I'd say business has tripled since Escoffier joined as temporary head chef. Well, in her words, the Hotel de Boer doesn't need her anymore. It doesn't look like she's got any plans to go back.
I guess I'll be heading off then.
Wait, take these home with you. We can't serve them now, and there's no sense in letting them go to waste.
Oh,
For what? Like I said, I just don't want them going to waste. Oh, and tell Fiamma to get well soon, so you're not running yourself ragged every single shift.
Firmo. That's the second time we've heard that name. Who is that again?
He's the chef that fell ill from stress. Hilaire is his son. And with Mom stuck at home taking care of Dad, he decided to pick up some work to help pay the bills. Escoffier knows their situation, so she's been making some extra food every day for him to take home.
Hey, I heard that, Navia! I've told you before, no one's making extra food. Hilaire is making blunders in the kitchen, and I can't serve his failed dishes, so he might as well take them home.
Yeah, failed dishes that just so happen to be nutritionally complete every
So you two must be the world-famous traveler and his companion, Paimon. Yes? Is there something I can help you with?
Oh, so you know us already. We'll skip the introduction then. We're here to talk about Savannah.
Oh, I certainly am. The Spina's headquarters are right next to the tavern. And I've lost count of the number of times Navi has come to pester me about it. But I don't work for the Hotel de Boer anymore. And being ex-head chef doesn't give me the right to interfere with that business. Besides, I'm the one who persuaded Savannah to take the job in the first place.
What?
Well, she was a much gentler person back then. A little timid, even. She wasn't at all confident that she was the right fit for the role.
That's hard to believe. Are we definitely talking about the same Savannah here?
Honestly, I do wonder if she's just emulating me. I mean, I'm not the most pleasant head chef to be around either. Anyway, suffice to say that given the history between us, it'll be tricky for me to tell her she's doing her job wrong without coming across like a huge hypocrite. Fiamma and the others probably think that Savannah gets it all from me.
I wouldn't be so sure about that, Escoffier. Look at this note we got from Monica.
She mentioned me.
Whatever shortcomings you feel you have, it looks like Monica still trusts you. As for the others, well, how can you know what they think unless you ask? Plus, it's not like we're asking you to storm in there and raise hell. We're only in the initial phase of our investigation. All we're trying to do...
Oh, Monica. Oh, Monica!
I
can't believe her! Powdered sugar is supposed to be applied sparingly. Look at all that on the wrapper. It's thicker than the sole of my shoe. Unbelievable! I won't stand for this.
Wait, so now she's,
Let's go catch up to her. We don't want to keep her waiting.
A little of moose boosh.
Wait, she looks like... Is that a Escoffier?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I messed up your order.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. Maybe the taste is a little off, but if you hadn't brought it up, I don't think I would have noticed.
But, please, you have to forgive me.
What the heck?
Get up, Monica! Can't you see that you're just making your customer feel more— If you want forgiveness, then do what any self-respecting chef would do. Make the dish again. And this time—
Savannah said that I'm not allowed back in the kitchen.
That's some backwards logic. How can you fix your mistake without being allowed to cook? If this is what Fermat had to put up with, then no wonder he had to break down.
We apologize for interrupting your meal, sir.
It's fine. With my layman's palate, it's not like I can tell the difference anyway. I was actually quite enjoying my meal until—
Oh, well, it's because Chef Savannah tasted a bit of—
Gosh, that's pretty strict. Has she always been that way? I don't recall things being like this when Escoffier was head chef here.
I mean, Escoffier was strict too, but I think the difference is that her criticism was more constructive, so we all knew that it came from a good place. Chef Escoffier was hard on us because she truly wanted us to reach her level. But these days, whenever we make a mistake, we just get told to wake up, get your head in the game. And it's only gotten worse since word got out that Chef Escoffier had started working again in the Fleuve Cendre.
Monica, you don't need to call me chef. I'm not the boss here anymore.
Yeah, but through no fault of your own. What happened back then? That banquet was a huge event, and so many staff were involved every step of the way. With so many moving parts, there's no way—
Lumaline? What's that?
A new drug from the Fontaine Research Institute, produced from an extract of the Lumitoile. Apparently it sharpens the senses, so they used it to treat people with impaired responses to stimuli.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. They found out you can use it as a flavor enhancer since it stimulates the taste buds. Makes things pretty—
They also found that overuse can have mood-altering effects, and even lead to nerve damage. So it quickly ended up on the Unfortunately, however, Some food products containing the additive had already made it to the market by the time the guards banned it from the restaurant industry.
Everyone knows that in all likelihood, someone probably just purchased a batch of contaminated ingredients by mistake. But you took all the blame. We all know why. You just didn't want to see this turn into a place where tensions are constantly running high. And now look at you. A fry chef in the Fleuve Cendre.
What are you trying to say? Sure, the Spina's Tavern is no Hotel de Boer, but come on.
Oh, the Fleuve Cendre, you say? Great. That's where I'm dining from now on.
Monica, I'm very happy with my current job. And there's no changing the past. We just have to let bygones be bygones. Besides, at the end of the day, I was the head chef, regardless of whose mistake it was.
If only Savannah was half the boss you were.
I'm sorry? Do you have a problem with my conduct as head chef? So, you do remember who's boss? Escoffier? I thought you'd left this place for good. What are you doing back here?
What happened to you, Savannah? Why are you acting like this? When I turned this place over—
You made me the head chef and gave up your right to tell me how to do my job. You're not the boss here anymore, so stop acting like you own the place.
Whoa. Sounds like someone has a chip on her shoulder.
My God, have you grown a temper since I last saw you? Have you put even half the amount of energy into improving your cooking skills, or are you still using the Pluie Lotus as an off-brand marcotte, thinking no—
That's none of your business!
What happened to not storming in and raising hell?
Ho ho! I was not expecting to see something this spicy as soon as Escoffier returned.
Huh? Fanasium?
Aye, miladies. Might I make a humble suggestion? Given that we have ourselves a tete-a-tete between chefs—
The traditional way? That can only mean one thing.
That's right! I'm talking, of course, about the tradition established by Modeste himself.
According to legend, the founders of Hotel de Boer, Modeste and Savelli, used this method to resolve all of their disputes. Everything from petty arguments over next week's menu to disagree. The cooking contest would decide who had the final say.
Huh. Sounds like they had a lot of free time on their hands.
Ah, well, it might sound that way to us. But in fact, the cooking contest played an enormous role in motivating chefs to hone their skills. And indeed, the reintroduction of this institution in recent years has surely been instrumental in transforming the Hotel de Boer into the top-ranking—
Reintroduction? Someone brought it back? Who?
What say you, Escoffier? Surely you of all people won't back down from this challenge. It was you who—
Sure, I reinstated it, but I'm not a chef at Hotel de Boer anymore. Isn't this bending the rules a little?
I see no issue as long as both sides agree to the terms. We could simply treat it as an exhibition of sorts. Savannah, any objections?
Exhibition. If we're going to battle it out, let's put it all on the line. If I lose, it's up to you what happens to me.
I don't want anything to happen to you.
But if you lose, you hand over the Codex de Boer to me.
What? The Codex de Boer?
Only the legendary handbook written by the original head chef Modeste. It contains all his secret recipes, including Gâteau de Boer. It's the greatest treasure in Fontaine's culinary world. And only the present and former head chefs of the Hotel de Boer have the right to read it.
Present and former? Wait, but
What do you want that old thing for? You have your own copy, don't you?
Don't take me for a fool. You know perfectly well what I mean. I want your copy, the original version, the one you took with you when you left us.
I'm sorry, I must be missing something. You know, there's no difference between the original and the copy, right? They contain the exact same recipes.
Stop trying to change the topic. What's wrong, Escoffier? Scared you're gonna lose to me? Or are you scared of me getting my hands on the original Codex?
Savannah, you may remember that we gave her the original as a parting gift, to thank Escoffier for her years of—
Oh, I'm sure it won't be an issue, as long as both sides agree to the terms. Those were your words, weren't they? And as for the contest itself, let's make it a bake-off. Gâteau de boar, per the recipe in the codex. Well, Escoffier, you against me. Are you in or out?
You sound surprisingly confident. All right then, let's see how much you've actually grown. I hope you surprise me, Savannah. I'd hate to find out that all you've learned after this long is how to chew people's heads off.
Believe me, I'll show you.
Escoffier, are you sure this is a good idea? You accepted her terms a little hastily.
Oh, it'll be fine. Let's head back to the Fleuve Cendres so I can get prepping.
Even the most unassuming ingredients can produce astounding flavor. But unlocking that potential takes a keen sense of smell, a refined palate, and an...
So, this whole bake-off thing kind of came out of nowhere. Was it really sensible to just go along with it?
Well, I got a sense that she's holding something back. But we chefs always express ourselves in our cooking. So if she won't talk, this might be the best way to find out what's really going on with her.
Huh? Holding back? Sure didn't sound that way to Paimon.
Escoffier only picked up on it because she's the same way. Always...
That's patently false, at least where your macarons are concerned. I've been nothing but truthful with you about the disgraceful amount of sugar you use.
Okay. That's one case where you can keep your thoughts to yourself.
Oh, that? Well, it's not so much a recipe book. Back in the day, he and his good friend Savelli explored far and wide. Partly adventuring, partly looking for new ingredients and developing new recipes. Their creations had an enormous influence on the course of Fontaine cuisine, turning it into a much more vibrant and diverse scene. For instance, legend has it that the original Gâteau de boar was made using a special secret ingredient that Modeste discovered on one of his adventures. So rare was the ingredient that they could never make more than 16 slices of the cake per day. But everyone who tried it claimed that it was one of the most blissful and invigorating things they had ever tasted. Modeste and Savelli went on to found the original Hôtel de Boer, which catapulted them to stardom in Fontaine's culinary world. Especially Modeste, He was hailed as a once-in-a-generation genius. And over time, the recipes from his adventure log became known as the Codex.
Ah, Paimon's heard this kind of story before. Armed with the Codex, the Hotel de Boer took its rightful place as the finest restaurant.
What? No, of course not. Cooking is a constantly evolving art form. How can any restaurant survive? Anyway, never mind centuries. Savelli and Modeste parted ways not even 10 years after their rise to fame. Then, and that was it. The end of the Hotel de Boer's heyday. It fell into decline, and for most of its history, it was just a nondescript place with a couple of cheap Even then, it still took numerous relocations and changes of management before we finally ended up with Vanigem and the restaurant we have today.
Oh! So the Codex really isn't all that, then. Paimon figured it was like one of those mystical books they have in Liwe's martial arts novels, where the main character learns all their secrets.
Yes, well, that's fiction, and this is reality. You can't meet the tastes of modern diners by following some ancient recipes from a dusty old book.
Case in point. Even the Gâteau de Boer they sell now is actually Escoffier's reimagination.
Wait, really? Why, though? Didn't that recipe make it into the Codex?
It did, but like I said, it's the dusty old book now, and the records aren't as legible as they once were. Not to mention that there's no way of finding the secret ingredient Modeste wrote about. So, reimagination is right. I consulted some historical records and took what I could from the Codex. But ultimately, the Gâteau de Boer of today is my own recipe. As for why we gave it the same name and kept the tradition of only selling 16 slices a day, well, you've got Vanigem's business sense to thank for that.
Oh. Huh. Well, that kind of takes all...
Hey now, it might not be the original Gâteau de Boer, but it's still the most delicious cake in Fontaine today. And just think, if the original truly was the perfect cake you're imagining it to be, there's no way the recipe would have been lost to history, right?
Anyway, before I left my role as head chef, I made a copy of all the recipes from the Codex, including...
So why could it be a symbolic thing? Like...
Well, it was clearly precious enough to give to Escoffier as a parting gift. Meanwhile, Savannah only got a copy. Maybe from her point of view, it's like management doesn't truly see her as being worthy of the role.
You think so? The only thing is, it was her suggestion to gift me the original in the first place. Well, a joint decision by her and Vanigem.
What? Huh. Guess she's had
Who knows? We could speculate forever. Better to just let our Gâteau do the talking. It means besting her in this bake-off, and then getting her to explain herself, even if I have to beat it out of her with it. However much she's changed since we worked together, I believe that she still has her chef's pride. And if she respects the art...
Well, I'm confident that you and your spatula can get justice for Froment. All you need to do now is win the contest.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Gâteau de Boer is very complicated to make. Now, if I had to push it, I could probably do the work of 3 chefs myself. But I'd prefer to play it safe if I can find a couple of assistants.
Well, that's easy. The 3 of us are veterans in the kitchen. You just need to pick 2 of us.
Well, I have heard the Traveler is an accomplished cook, as well as a warrior. But be warned,
Oh, count me in too. I've spent weeks perfecting my macarons after your skill. Even if it means competing against the Traveler, so be it.
Confident. I like it. Alright, let's start with some elementary mise en place.
I've always called it chopping stuff up, not mise en place. But it's basically the same thing, right?
Oh, Navia. The difference in your case is that mise en place is chopping stuff up. Looks like you found that easier than I expected.
Yeah, thankfully it was pretty straightforward in the end. You made it sound like we'd be carving statues out of fruits or something.
Well, brace yourself, because the next step is anything but straightforward. I'll be using this cold press to extract a kind of special food processor I got the Fontaine Research Institute to make for me. It uses cold temperature extraction to isolate the essence of cooking ingredients, which can then be used to flavor dishes more precisely. But this isn't exactly standard kitchen equipment, so that probably did...
Custom-made equipment from the Fontaine Research Institute, huh? That's some pretty high-tech food prep. Paimon's never used anything this weird before. Cool! Not weird.
And done! These are the flavor compounds extracted from our ingredients. I've processed...
Wow! Even the smell is so much more
Absolutely not! Throwing everything in at once will ruin the balance of flavors. We have to go slowly and carefully to calibrate the exact flavor we want. I'll demonstrate again. Now, watch closely. Slowly. And voila! Now it's your turn. Not terrible, considering this was everyone's first time, but the Traveler's work was surprisingly good. Are you sure you've never done this before? You got almost Oh, well, they do say adventurers are multi-talented folks. Alright, now for the part I've been looking forward to. I want each of you to cook something from the Hotel de Boer's current menu. That's right. The true test of your cooking skills is the finished product. It'll be good practice for the contest itself. How's it going? Have you picked a dish yet? Choose wisely. How's it going? Have you picked a dish? I know this doesn't represent what you're capable of. Try again, and this time,
I guess I'm finally on the right path.
how's it going? Have How's it going?
Guess I'm finally on the right path.
How's it going? Huh. I know this doesn't represent what you're capable of. Try again, and this time, I would... How's it going? how's it going? Have you... How's it going? Look at that! With the grace of a snow-winged goose, as I like.
Pretty good, right? Not to brag or anything.
6 points.
What? Oh, well, fair enough.
That's 6 out of 100.
What?
You say you're a connoisseur, but it's quite clear from this dish that you have far more experience consuming food than creating it. By that logic, I suppose you think listening to Lady Farina on repeat every day would make you an op-
Aww.
Ah, me next. I'll have you know that this batch of macarons...
So you went from 12 tablespoons to 10? Well, it's nice to know you actually measured it out. Because it tastes like...
Aw.
Now to the final dish.
So,
This is our last hope.
8 points.
darn. That's bad.
Not exactly. The color is spot on. Beautiful aroma. Excellent presentation. I have to give this one 8 points out of 10.
Huh? How did you pull that off?
Don't get me wrong. There's room for improvement. But still, this is clearly the work of an accomplished chef. I can tell that I can really taste the grace of the snow-winged goose in this dish.
Hey, you made that last part up. No way did you...
Well, it looks like I lost fair and square.
But if it takes 3 chefs, that still leaves 1 slot remaining.
Chef Escoffier.
Oh, it's Hilaire. What brings you here?
I heard the news about the cooking contest. You're doing Gâteau de Bourg, right?
And you
Oh, no, I know I'm not there yet. It's actually my dad who wanted to help.
Firma, last I heard, you could barely get out of bed.
Chef Escoffier, Navia, Traveler, thank you all so much for everything you're doing. I've had enough of sitting around at home while you run yourselves ragged. If you let me...
Yeah, I was...
Don't you worry. I'll be fine. The fact is, I'm a fine chef, despite recent events. I've proven myself in the Hotel de Bourg kitchen, so if anyone's
Firma, have you even set foot in a kitchen since leaving Hotel?
I have not, but... Huh? That's strange. Why are my hands shaking?
What do you call this, Firma?
I...
Do it again! Again! Hopeless. Get out of my kitchen.
Dad, what's wrong?
I don't understand. I was feeling so much better, and then I...
Dad, talk to me.
I think the real issue here is not physical exhaustion, but psychological trauma.
Monica, when did you get here?
Probably because you were all concentrating so hard on your cooking. But anyway, Firma, I'm so sorry. If only I'd known how—
You have nothing to apologize for, Monica. During those long nights of redoing every order, you were the only person who looked out for me.
Oh, come on. All I did was make you some tea. I doubt it was much help. Savannah was so rude.
She sounds like the worst. All right, another Savannah horror story.
She's been getting harsher and harsher on us ever since she heard about Escoffier's new role in the Fleuve Cendre. Seems like no matter what we make—
What is this? It looks like a dog's been at it. in the trash!
Then she orders us to redo the dish again and again, but we never know what's going to make her happy.
Do it again, do it again, do it again!
Every time you remake it, you just get another.
Either straighten yourself out, or get out of—
So now, it seems like just picking up a kitchen utensil gives me flashbacks of her young.
Oh man, that must be awful.
The more I want to get it perfect, the more my hands shake, and the more scared I am of making another mistake.
How can you give up so easily, Fiamma? You weren't acquitted when you were working for me. And even under Savannah, you talk about working late into the night trying to perfect your dishes. That says to me—
I don't know what's come over me. When I think back, I just remember feeling like my heart and my hands were growing heavier and heavier. Maybe Savannah was right. Maybe I am just hopeless.
Dad.
I see. Well, it sounds like there are some deep issues at work here. Ones that won't— I will win this contest, and after that, I encourage you to approach Savannah and talk this out.
But what if you can't find another assistant in time? Clearly.
You think being one person short will ruin my chances? Let's not forget, I taught you, and even if I had to go it alone, I would present the perfect gâteau.
Oh, well, Paimon and Nadia will—
And so will I.
Yeah! And if worse comes to worse, we can always get the Spina di Rosula—
Actually, I thought maybe I could help.
What? Why didn't you say so?
I was going to, but then.
You do this for us?
Alright, fine by me. But aren't you still working for Savannah?
I know, but it's alright. I've made up my mind. With the way things are, I can't keep working for Savannah much longer anyway. Unless. I'm done with sucking it up. It's time to try and turn things around. If this cooking contest can get Savannah to see the error of her ways, then I'm sure she'll—
Well, Paimon didn't think we'd be poaching from Savannah's staff to get our third person, but there you go. Anyway, Monica's a professional chef, so nothing could possibly—
Great! Then it's settled. And to congratulate you all on making the team, I propose a
Spina sponsored? Wait, you mean
Well, I promised the traveler a feast and a flubs.
Yeah! Feast! Feast!
Alright, if you insist, then prepare for some of the finest food of your lives. That's not a bad idea, actually. Wait, hold on.
That was a dream come true. Paimon never knew Fontanian cuisine could be this good.
Why, Savannah? Why? Oh, nothing. I was just flicking through the original Codex de Boer. I wanted to see if there was anything I'm missing. Something I hadn't noticed before. That might explain why Savannah's so desperate to get her hands on it. But I can't find anything. It's just some hastily scribbled recipes in between diary entries from Modeste's adventure. The copy I gave her not only has all the recipes in full, but even includes my own private tips and notes from years of experience. Surely that's infinitely more useful than this old thing. Yeah, maybe. Still, it's just hard for me to imagine that the Savannah I knew would go to all we were. At least I always thought we were. She was a little shy, but meticulous with everything and everyone she dealt with. She made a few mistakes here and there, but she was quick to correct. Those qualities are why I recommended her to replace me as head chef. I never imagined for 1 second that she'd cause Fiamma and the other staff so much grief. Well, I mean to an extent. And the idea that she turned out like this because of me is difficult to come to terms with. I wonder if this is how Modeste felt back when he was writing the Codex. Yes, with his good friend and co-founder of the Hotel de Boer, Savelli. The story goes that after Modeste unveiled his Gâteau de Boer and was hailed as a culinary genius, he was admired and adored by all. But his newfound, unlike Modeste, whose every new creation was an instant hit, Savelli seemed to face setbacks at every turn. Doors that would swing wide open for Modeste, and with Modeste being whisked off to all manner of functions by his celebrity friends, he had less and less time to discuss the culinary arts with Savelli. People started gossiping about Savelli, and their relationship between the two gradually soured. Everything came to an abrupt end when Modeste, still in the prime of his life and still hailed as a genius. And that was it. They neither had a decisive split, nor got the chance to properly reconcile. One rumor had it that Savelli actually killed Modeste out of jealousy. Even as the latter was hoping to make unlikely, it's a popular theory, but there's no real basis for it. At least there are no records of Savelli ever being convicted. Still, beyond a point, there's no way of knowing what truly happened in the past. All we can do is try to make sure the present doesn't quite... And that's why I have to win this contest tomorrow. Then get the truth about everything that's been going on, even if it means cracking her open like a nut. Really? Well, I like the confidence. Don't let me down tomorrow, then. You...
It's cooking contest day! To the Hotel de Boer! Toot sweet!
Mesdames et messieurs, welcome one and all to the Hôtel de Boer and to this most exciting of cooking contests.
Savannah, I brought the original copy of the Codex you asked for.
Monica? Huh.
In the interests of fairness, this contest will be conducted in a double-blind format. Once the dishes are complete, the labels will be placed out of sight underneath the plates, only to be revealed after the judges have sampled them and reached a final verdict. This...
As one of the judges, I promise to be fair and impartial.
When my meal got interrupted yesterday, I never thought this is how they'd make it up to me. Getting a seat on the judging panel is a
Both contestants have taken their positions. Then, without further ado, let the Hôtel de Boer cooking contest commence!
Even the best chef in the world can't flavor their food without prepping the... Even the best chef in the world can't flavor their food without prepping the flavoring, right?
Alphonse! Gaspar! Get to work! Do not disappoint me.
Looks like our two head chefs are raring to go. Like an oven on full blast, this competition is quickly heating up.
Should be enough flavoring. Now hurry up and balance the flavors.
Come on, Escoffier! Come on, traveler!
The balance of flavors is about right, but the quantity is too low.
Alphonse! What are you playing at? That's not how I taught you to do it! Stop!
Yes, chef!
Oh, tension in the ranks on Team Savannah. Will this slow their progress?
So, what do you think?
Escoffier is already on the final step of the...
I think this flavor profile is still a little bit off.
Enough! Oh, useless! Both of you! Make like an egg and feed it! I'll do it!
You can't match Escoffier's talent.
I present to you Gâteau de Bourg.
Goose on the loose!
That went just as I expected.
Time's up! Contestants, please take your dishes to the back.
Huh. That guy was right.
We both made the same dish after all. For all her flaws, Savannah's a talented chef who earned my recommendation for good reason.
Whoa! This is really rather good.
Wonderfully soft and fluffy. Beautifully sweet.
I would give this one at least 9.9 out of 10! Only because there's something about the flavor of the base. It's just a...
Huh? Really?
All right, on to gâteau number 2.
I have a feeling that this gâteau will be a gâteau for the ages.
How exciting! I think maybe...
Not just the sugar, it's the flavors too.
It appears the decision is unanimous.
Whew! And Paimon thought this might actually be close. Turns out she can't bake to save her life.
Something's not right here. Savannah
I can now declare that the creator of the first gâteau has won this cooking contest.
What? It's... Savannah?
No! That's
Hey, Savannah! You cheated, didn't you? You cheater! What did you do? Oh, you swapped the plates, didn't...
Well, someone's a sore loser. These cakes went from the oven to the judge's table without me ever laying a finger on them. It was Vanishem's staff who labeled them in the kitchen. If you're looking to... Isn't it more likely that Escoffier's lost her edge? Oh.
Judges, we demand a rematch.
That's enough! What's done is, as head chef, or rather as team lead, I take responsibility for the dish I served. Savannah, I didn't think you'd stoop this low just to beat me in a bake-off. What?
I don't know what...
If you want the Codex to bore that much...
Escoffier.
But you must promise me that you'll apologize to Firma and compensate him for everything you put him through.
It's a little late to be negotiating terms. The contest is over, and I...
Look, Savannah, you may have fooled everyone else, but can you really fool yourself? What I'm offering is to accept defeat without looking to expose what you've done. But only on the condition that you promise to stop putting so much pressure on your staff.
Fine. I'll treat this as your final handover of duties from... So, will that be all, ex-head chef?
I didn't mean that to be a scolding from your former boss. Just a word of advice from a fellow chef and a friend. But I don't know if you're even open to it.
I know what I'm doing. I don't need your advice.
All right, fine. I'm glad to...
Escoffier?
The Codex de Bourg. Finally.
Escoffier? How could you let her get away with this?
Yeah! The Codex is...
It's all right. It was just a bake-off, not the end of the... Besides, it's not all bad. She agreed to compensate Firma. Honestly, if I'd have known that giving her the codex would solve everything, I'd have just done that in the first place. I mean, why bother with the whole cooking contest?
No. No!
Huh?
That's it? No secrets. No nothing? I don't believe it. This can't be happening.
Oh, Chef Savannah!
Savannah?
It's nothing life-threatening. Just a lot of pent-up
I knew.
Pent-up stress?
The truth is, however hard she might be on the rest of us, the person she puts—
Yes, there are nights when she makes us redo things over and over into the wee hours. She'll hide herself away in the kitchen, working on new techniques and recipes, and only realize—
But why?
Our best guess is she doesn't want to be seen as less of a chef than Escoffier.
And there—
Even so, that's no excuse for taking—
Yeah, and it's definitely no excuse for cheating in the cooking contest.
Huh, about that. We honestly have no idea how she did it. We were—
Leone and Algalia were the ones I tasked with labeling the cakes.
Not to worry. Come on, join me downstairs. I'll interrogate the guilty gâteau myself.
Well, how is it? Have you figured out what it was?
Oh, this is aggravated assault on my palate. I'd
Is it really that bad? I made sure the taste tested before it was served.
Oh, relax. This isn't your cake. Savannah never switched the plates. The offending flavors are coming from in between the icing and the cake base, which means or in other words, we have a traitor.
I'm sorry. I was forced into it. It was Chef Savannah. She said if I didn't cooperate, she would...
Calm down, Monica. I've already accepted defeat. And if I wanted retribution, I would have brought this up when the results were announced. Whatever's going on with you, just spill the beans. There's no need to hide it.
I was the one who caused the food safety incident that one time.
Food safety? Wait, you mean the...
I think so? Savannah and I were on procurement that day. I didn't check everything as well as I should have, and so... But I swear I didn't do it on purpose. I had no idea there was an issue with them, and I didn't know it would end up with Escoffier going to... But the last thing I expected was for Savannah to use it as leverage to blackmail me with...
This is crazy. So Savannah pressured you into sabotaging Escoffier's cake by threatening to expose your...
I know, it's terrible. I'm so sorry. I was so scared. The thought of Chef Escoffier... I thought Escoffier would hate my guts if she ever found out, and yet somehow that's ended up in me doing something even worse.
Seriously? All this Firstly, it's not like I got a life sentence. I did my stint at the fortress, and now I'm out. And secondly, I had my own reasons for leaving the Hotel de Boer. This wasn't... So you don't need to feel ashamed or frightened or anything like...
You mean...
Oh, well, I'm not saying you don't have to take responsibility for your mistakes. You should tell Vanagem to mark down your performance for the past few months. Then do some digging and find out exactly where those contaminated ingredients came from. Sure, you've made Good. Now, back to Savannah. What about the original codex with...
I have my suspicions.
What happened to me?
I've overheard some customers murmuring about how the Hotel de Boer hasn't been the same since Escoffier left. They think our menu doesn't taste like it used to, especially...
Now that you mention it, I noticed it during the contest too. I couldn't put my finger on it, but the difference was so small. I'm sure no one would notice it besides our most loyal customers and true dessert
Still, as head chef, it's easy to see why Savannah would get so hung up on. So many times I've seen her make the cake base over and over again, late into the night, determined to match Escoffier's version.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
Thinking back on it now, it's clear that Savannah's been in a downward spiral.
She wants to prove that she can fill Escoffier's shoes. That's gotta be the reason. But after countless setbacks, she's getting more and more unhinged. And at some point along the way, she switched from doubting herself to doubting Escoffier.
Doubting Escoffier? For what?
Yeah, it would explain why she was bent on getting the original at any cost. She must have thought Escoffier. Also, she could retain her place as the #1 chef in Fontaine.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Of course. Then she finally got the codex, only to discover that the secret recipes she's been pining for don't. Seeing how utterly wrong she was must have been a real shock to the system. It probably brought.
There's still one thing that doesn't make sense, though. If Savannah had the real recipe all along, how come it tasted different? She might not be on the same level as Escoffier, but surely after like 50 attempts, she'd get it right one of those times.
You'd think so, but geniuses like Escoffier are in.
New head chef, you say? What's her name? I don't think I've heard.
I wonder, can the Hotel de Boer keep its edge without Escoffier at the helm?
This tastes different from last time. Is it undercooked or something?
Take this. It's a copy of the Codex de Boer. From now on, you will be its keeper. Don't listen to the doubters. If I say you can do it, then you can do it. Even if you don't believe in yourself at all. Hey, did you hear me? Once I'm gone, the restaurant is all yours.
All this time, I've been blaming other people.
I sincerely apologize for putting everyone out. Savannah's awake now, but I don't think she... Let's give her the day to calm down. I'm sure you'll have the chance.
In that case, I'll go and update for Ma and his family. I want.
So, we'll come back tomorrow then.
That was a long day. I think I've earned my.
Oh, nice! Macarons? Or are you gonna switch it up this time?
Traveler, how much do you know about the snow-winged goose? Every year, they migrate long distances in search of a suitable home. There's always one goose at the front whose job is to lead the flock. Fontaine poets often use the image of that goose to explore the ideas about leadership and genius. But what those poets don't know is that during a migration, once the lead goose shows signs of fatigue, it retreats to the back of the flock and allows another goose. So the truth is that leadership, with all the responsibilities and pressure, I guess what I'm saying is, I don't buy into this notion that there's some sort of gulf between normal and genius. Cooking is a science, not magic. Given the same ingredients, same recipe, and same environment, of course some people have a more sensitive palate than others, and some people are just born bolder or more conscientious. I'd have no reason to expect so much from others if I believed that perfection can only come from the hands of a... Okay, I've made up my mind. I'm gonna get to the bottom of why Savannah failed. And come tomorrow, I'll give her the scolding of her life, pointing out all the mistakes.
Why are we here so early? Our meeting with Vanigem isn't for a while. Check on her? Why? What happened? Oh no. Escoffier, are you...
I'm fine. Just need to get some more coffee in me. Huh? What happened to my coffee? Did I really drink it all? Alright. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Well, there's cooking facilities here. Or we could just grab a cup of coffee from Cafe Lutece, but either way, hurry!
Coffee. Need coffee.
When will Lenny and Lynette do another show?
Coffee. I smell. I feel much better now. Thank you so much, Traveler and Paimon.
Glad to hear it, but make sure to catch up in your sleep when you get...
I think I figured out where the problem lies. Honestly, it's ridiculous.
Wait, what investigation?
I'll save it for when everyone else gets here. It's so stupidly small, I can't believe it. Yes, except my failures were stepping...
Escoffier! Have you seen Savannah?
Huh? No, not since yes...
After seeing her home yesterday, we were all a little concerned about how she was doing. Only to find an empty house. I left Alphonse and the others to keep watch at her. If she's not here...
Boss, Escoffier!
Alphonse? You're supposed to be keeping...
We were, but then, just after you left, we found this...
Oh, looks like,
Wait a second. This feels familiar. Of course, from the Codex. They're all places that Modeste explored on his adventure. Yeah, but I don't understand. The adventure logs in the codex are too fragmented to be of any use. How come this map shows all the...
The Codex de Bord? Then this place marked in red...
Seriously? So now she set her sights on finding the original recipe.
Ugh, idiot! Does she have a death wish? Those were...
Hold on. There's more.
It was you. It sounds like a threat letter. Does this mean that Savannah would...
Retrieve the codex by any means necessary. So the cooking contest and the cheating. Someone else...
She's keeping the true recipe to herself.
Ugh, this is all such a mess. First, we thought that Savannah forced Monica to cheat in the cooking contest. But now, it turns out that someone else forced Savannah to force Monica to cheat?
You're finally here. Of course. I should have put 2 and 2 together as soon as I read your threat letter. Even the suggestion that Escoffier was keeping secrets from me. It was all part of your grand plan, wasn't it?
We should be getting close to the spot marked on the map.
Of all the stupid things she's done, this really takes the cake. The moment we find her, I'm gonna curse the living daylights out of her.
Whoa, this place looks like an underwater restaurant, doesn't it? Suddenly the idea of it...
I think Modest's codex mentioned this place. A public bath from the time of Remoria. So yeah, definitely the...
Huh? Some blubber beasts have come to join the party? How did... Aw, they ran off!
That could be easier said than done. Something's blocking the entrance.
Well, did Modeste mention it in his adventure log?
Good point.
We prepared a banquet for our shy little guests, and as the food flowed away on the current, they broke into a joyous chorus, and the path opened to us.
We have to feed the blubber beasts? With what? There's nothing here besides rocks, romaritime flower. See, this is why you should always bring snacks. You never know when you're gonna need them. Now we have to head all the way...
There's no time for that. Romaritime flowers and Lumitoile will have to do. They may not look appetizing to us, but who knows?
Wait, we're seriously gonna... Police or not, are we sure this stuff is edible?
Trust me, they'll love it.
Oh, good question. If we try to put them in the pool, we'll probably just scare them off again, and who—
Yes, we can't afford to wait for them to double back. Oh, what was it that Modeste said again?
Wow, it's really singing! It must taste better than Paimon thought!
The tracks turned back again. Oh, so annoying. Hey, it's open!
Hey, give me your water.
Here.
I said your water, the one you just drank out of?
Sure.
All those years slaving away under Escoffier, and then you. Today, it's finally paying off. Not only have I found the ruin that Savelli kept hidden, but I also get to boss you around like my Hey, go scout ahead for me. If we need to do any more blast tunneling, I want to know where to lay the explosive. Did you not hear me?
Why don't you do it yourself?
Oh, when did you learn to fight back? You're always so compliant when I give you instructions by letter.
That's because you threatened to expose me for the Lumiline incident. I swear, if I'd known—
Don't be so self-righteous. Admit it, you've always been jealous of Escoffier. You were terrified of her finding out about your part in the Lumiline incident, and you resented the way so you jumped at the chance to convince yourself that she was the villain, that she deliberately hid her secret recipes from you just to hold— First, idolization, then jealousy, suspicion, and self-deception. That's what this comes down to. It was the same story with Savelli and my ancestor. He offered Modeste his friendship only to murder him out of vanity. He promised to explore the world with him,
only to later destroy all records of their adventures. It's a miracle I even found this place. So you see, you're no better.
I am no Savelli, nor will I ever be.
Oh, put a lid on it. You really think you can absolve yourself of your vindictive and jealous behavior now? Just because you finally realized that Escoffier... You didn't show any remorse when she left, or in the cooking contest. Why start now? You have...
You're right. I don't deserve her forgiveness. But...
Ooh, feisty. But you should watch your tone.
I somehow doubt that. Since I poisoned both our...
What?
Ever since I learned the truth. I've been biding my time, waiting for this moment. You've played me like a fiddle for so long, and...
But you drank it too.
It's what we both deserve. This is the price we must pay for betraying Escoffier. You'll die here with me, Monica!
You... Oh, you're too much. I thought I'd play along. I saw your dumb plan a mile off. There's no poison in these bottles, just clean,
No.
Revenge is a dish best served. You're a lousy chef, and you make a lousy villain.
Everything I ever did was a failure. And now...
Hey, why don't you try your hand at being a comedian in your next life? You got a good... You should have just done like I asked, Savannah. All I wanted you to do was scout the ruins for...
Stop right there!
Let her go, Monica! We've got you...
Escoffier?
Ugh, looks like I'll have to keep you around for a little...
You can't!
Stay back if you want her alive! Escoffier and the Traveler. I can't take you both on in combat, but if you...
Monica, what are you hoping to achieve by this? You're about to commit murder.
A recipe. You chefs are all blinded by your myop. Modeste had a secret. The truth behind his so-called genius, the je ne sais quoi factor in his gâteau de bourg, and its...
Are you serious? You're here because of a gâteau de bourg obsession?
I couldn't care less about the cake itself. No, the real treasure is the secret ingredient. He and Savelli were fools. A priceless treasure of Remoria in the palms of their hands, and we're talking about a powerful stimulant that also sharpens the senses. That's no cooking ingredient. It's a groundbreaking drug. That's right, I've done my research. It was a drug that Remoria developed for their war machine. I could make a killing by selling it to the...
Will you listen to yours?
My eyes are wide open. Just wait till I get my hands on this
Wait, what's this?
Just when I thought she couldn't get any crazier. She's lucky the whole place didn't collapse.
Uh-oh. Savannah's gone too.
Monica must have taken her. Oh, what a coward. She's only taken her hostage.
That's true. Even if she finds the treasure, she'll need Savannah alive if she wants to get out of here.
Oh, well, our path's been blocked, so let's look for another route. The water looks pretty deep here. Maybe it leads somewhere. were probably awakened by the explosion just now. Alright, Night Skills 101. Time for some rough chopping.
Stay cool. Face your guilt.
Another door? Guess we need to prepare another feast for our guests.
Off to the freezer!
It seems to really like the texture of Rome Maritime flowers.
A little amuse-bouche! Huh. Rah. Yeah. Yeah.
A dash of frosting!
A moment, please.
It seems to really like the texture of Rome maritime flowers. A little moose. A dash of frosting!
A moment, please.
I never knew you could process Lumitwol like that. Alright, I've got to jot this down. Lumitwols and maritime flowers. This could open the door to a whole new world.
Yep, that's literally the plan. Wait, hold on. Which door are you talking about?
That's strange. These don't look Romorian to me. More like last century Fontaine.
Adventurers from last century Fontaine, huh? Oh, Modeste and Savelli, do you think they camped here?
By the looks of it, this was a one-person camp. They adventured together, but maybe one of them came back alone at a later date. Huh, you really think so?
Trust our adventurers' instincts. We're pros at this stuff, just like you're a pro in the kitchen. Okay, well, the Traveler has more adventuring experience overall, but Paimon's definitely a pro rummage. Darn it! Paimon was just about to show off her rummaging skills!
Huh, no kidding. Are all adventurers so obsessed with journaling? I mean, I guess I take a lot of notes when I'm cooking as well, but...
Anyway, let's find out who was here.
It's been years since I've last visited these ruins. It's exactly the way I remember it. This place probably hasn't changed in millennia. Sadly, up above, on dry land, everything has changed. The treasure of Remoria, our limited stock of the substance, he was praised as a genius. Modeste tried his best to console me. Our conversations grew scarce, and we saw less and less of each other. I didn't fight it. He had new friends, and I told myself that maybe one day, When I've put these feelings of self-loathing behind me, I'd be able to ask him with a smile on my face. Unfortunately, that day will never come.
So it was Savelli. From the sounds of it, he came back
I always thought it was just a legend. But if it's true, then this must be the place where they found their secret.
In that case, what does that say about the death of Modeste? If it's all true...
The taste of Gâteau de Bourg has changed. Modeste was convinced of this. Even though, being the perfectionist that he was, he refused to accept even the slightest flaw in his work. He stopped all sales of the product, locked himself away in the kitchen, and worked day and night. But as he baked and taste tested over and over again, he found he only strayed further and further from. It was only when he was sipping on coffee one day and realized he could not taste the bitterness. The treasure of Remoria stimulates the senses, taste included, and invigorates the spirit. In hindsight, it made perfect sense. After all, why would a culture that sought liberation from the constraints of their bodies care for the loss of their senses? But we realized it too late. Over the course of his many culinary experiments, Modeste exhausted the remaining supply of the treasure of Remoria. The finest culinary talent of his generation now faced a future in which he would never be able to taste anything ever again. Finally, in despair, he took his own. And because we had become estranged, I could not be there to stop him, to offer some words of comfort. Yet despite everything, he sent me his final letter.
The treasure of Remoria? Guess Monica was really onto something. It really was a kind of drug.
So, Modeste chose to end his own life. Then, why all the rumors that Savelli murdered him? Also, neither the Codex nor any other contemporary record.
Modeste told me everything in his final letter. His was a tale of how even a genius could fail, and how much more devastating it is. Did he hope I would gain some personal catharsis from knowing the truth? Or maybe, but if the public ever learned how Modeste's greatest triumph became his undoing, his fall from grace would be swift and merciless. 1 minute a genius, the next a joke. What would be his legacy then? How would future generations view everything we built together? I fear the scorn I have faced these last years would pale in comparison to the scorn shown to him by the history books. I cannot let that come to pass. I will do what I must to protect his name. It may lead his family to suspect me of having a hand in his demise. But if that's the price of destroying all evidence of my crimes, then I would rather the world believe a tale of genius and jealousy than see his reputation in tatters. The final loose end is the evidence here, at the bottom of the sea.
Huh? What's wrong? Didn't we say Savannah should be safe for now?
So we thought, but if Monica...
The treasure of Remoria. I have found you. Savelli, you tried your best to bury the truth, but you underestimated the children of Modeste. But I have to thank you too, Savannah. Without your help retrieving the Codex, and with it the last piece of the puzzle, I may never have found this place. But now, finally, the secret to Remoria's military might is within my grasp. The treasure of Remoria. Oh, it's...
Monica? Oh, we were seconds to...
Escoffier?
Savelli's final act! He wanted to conceal the secret of the treasure forevermore and make... So he came here after his friend's death and destroyed every...
This can't be happening! All the years I spent piecing together all that for an
Monica, don't do anything stupid! This ruin is more dangerous...
Oh,
your pie hole!
Praise be to you, Barb.
She's a nutcase! A liability to herself and everyone else! Well, now it's up to us to clean up the mess she's made. Take these golems out!
Why is this place still shaking? Either way, enough chit-chat.
Okay, I'm coming.
Oh, no, you don't. If I can't get what I want, I've got nothing to show for my life's work so far. But if I can take another so-called genius down with me in my final moment, then it was all worth it.
You're a psycho!
Savannah? Oh.
I may be a lousy chef, but it looks like I'm not a complete waste of space.
Traveler? Okay, let's go!
Escoffier! Savannah!
Traveler! And Paimon!
Venejem, what are you all doing here?
What did you expect us to do? Stay at the restaurant and sit on our merry derrieres? While the Traveler and Escoffier were out here risking their lives?
We had to do something, even though that something ended up...
I don't deserve any of... It was my fault Escoffier had to leave. Come back, Escoffier. Come and be our head chef again.
Okay, so everything I said to you the day I left, it just went in one ear and out the other?
Huh? Sorry, I was kinda in my own head at the time. All I could think about was the Lumiline situation.
Forget it. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I didn't leave this job because of you. And you're not nearly... If you were that bad, why would all your staff show up here for you?
Escoffier's right. Sure, you nitpick our work and get us to do things over a lot. But when it comes down to it, you're the one who's always doing whatever...
Things were pretty rough after Escoffier left. And Savannah's the only reason we've been able to make...
Our customers know that Escoffier doesn't work for us anymore. But the fact is, they keep coming back. At the end of the day, we're all human, and we all make mistakes. All we can do is recognize where we get it wrong and do our best to improve.
No, I get what you're saying, but what...
Well, about that, there's someone else here.
It's been a while, Chef Savannah.
Firmal, I'm so sorry. I put far too much pressure on you. But I'm too late, aren't I?
Actually, I think I'm going to be...
Huh?
We thought Firmin's problem was purely psychological in nature. But after the threat letter came to light, it got Firmin thinking. And as it turns out, she was...
No way! Doesn't that...
It can. High doses, but a small dose might simply make a person more emotional. Whether that mean more
No wonder it seemed like you'd lost.
I asked my friends at the Fontaine Research Institute about it. They said that with the low dose I was taking, the risks are pretty... Well, that's what happens when you give someone a little bit of...
There's more.
You mean...
Oh, so that's why Savannah's been...
Let's not be too quick to blame everything on the Lumiline. That stuff can only amplify what's already there. So tasty food will seem like the most delicious thing in the world. So you better make sure you reflect on your behavior and apologize to...
I will. I'm sorry. There's still one question that's really bugging me. Why is it that is it just...
It's because the heating element in your oven is broken, you silly goose.
What?
I felt like something was off during the cooking contest. Once I got around to checking all the equipment, I noticed it right away. All the ovens in the whole kitchen had the same problem, which confused me at the time, but by this point, I would have figured it out the day of the bake-off, since the issue affected both our teams. But of course, Monica sabotaged my...
No. I spent so long trying to find out where I was going wrong, and then it all comes back to one simple...
Oh, cut it out! Do you know how long I spent perfecting my Gâteau de Bourg? 3 years! 3 whole years! And you've been head chef now for what, 6 months? If that? A couple hundred failed attempts, and you're gonna throw in the kitchen You clearly have no idea how many kitchen failures I've had under my belt. Or genius or not, everyone makes mistakes. Modeste did, Savelle. You're only a lousy chef if you don't face up to your mistakes. Learn from them, and then keep Surely you haven't...
I haven't forgotten.
That's... Ha-ha!
What up?
So you got your mojo?
Yeah. Thanks to you, Escoffier.
Friends again! So nice to see them finally settle their beef.
Good. So now that's out of the way. It's time for payback. You cheated in our last bake-off, and I demand a rematch.
But that was mostly Monica's fault.
Right. And also, does it have to be right now? Savannah?
No excuses. This is a cooking contest between two, so grab your spatula and get ready, because this rematch is happening.
Hey! So, this...
The second cooking contest commences now!
This time, no more games, and no holding back!
I feel like I don't have the right to be here.
Hey, what are you so afraid of? You can't unbake it now. And if you don't serve it, then good or bad, you'll never find out how to improve. If you're too scared to fail, you'll never know what real success tastes like. So?
Embrace your failure. Taste it. Digest it. That's the way to success.
I don't know. Sounds like it's easier said than done.
I'll do it.
The results are in! A landslide victory for Escoffier!
Quite rightly, too.
Oh yeah, look at that! Savannah looks pretty chipper too, considering she lost.
Now, where were we? Yes. I thought Navia would have filled you in. And actually, I said all this to Savannah before I left. Although, as we saw, I don't think any of it sense. I had 2 reasons for leaving. One was the food safety incident, of course. But the other was that the Hotel de Boer had reached a point where it didn't need me anymore. So I decided to step down and look for new opportunities to improve myself.
Improve how?
Well, a while back, I got to know a fellow chef from Liyue, and in her, I saw so many new possibilities. She has that same adventurous spirit that Modeste and Sibeli had in their youth. Slime mucus, there's a whole world of new flavors out there waiting to be explored, hiding away. Case in point, remember those Romaritime flowers down in the ruins? I used them in the cooking contest just now.
What?
Half of the art of cooking is dissecting the recipes of previous chefs and figuring, and the other half, it lies in freeing yourself from the confines of the kitchen.
Uh-oh. Paimon's suddenly not sure she wants to try your cooking any— Hey!
Don't worry, it's not gonna be a free-for-all like in Modeste's time. Before I put anything into my food, I'll obviously do my research, make sure it doesn't contain it. In the meantime, take this. It's a recipe for Petit Gâteau de Boer, revised version. I tweaked it to suit your needs as busy adventurers. Hope you enjoy, and remember—
All right!
Oh, of course. I've already promised Vanisham that I'll come back every once in a while to make sure the quality of the food remains—
You know, surely Monica wouldn't have gotten drawn in so deeply if it wasn't for all the mystery surrounding the original Gâteau de Boer. She practically dedicated her life to finding the lost pieces of Modeste's diary. Then when—
Since you mentioned the treasure, between Modeste's writings and what we saw in those ruins, the so-called treasure of Remoria was most likely a substance that the Remorians extracted from Lumitoiles.
Huh? So then, why all the hype back in the early days?
Don't forget, it was a very different era. We could barely even refine sugar back then. So desserts were very much— And as for the Lumiline, it may well have been somewhat valuable in ancient times. Even if Sibeli hadn't destroyed it all, I doubt it would—
So after all that, there was nothing in those— Feels strange to say it, but Paimon almost feels sorry for Monica. She sacrificed it all only to get nothing.
Hey! Huh? Navia?
You just got back from that underwater ruin, right? Well, check it out. Did you see anything like this down there? Freshly unearthed. Experts say it has immense artistic and historical value.
Wait, isn't that the jar they used to hold the treasure?
If only it was still in one piece. Some butterfingers must have dropped it or something.